The first New York State gun law was written by a criminal to protect criminals. Hi, my name is Dave Mongello. I run Mongello's Auto Repair and Accessories in Lockport, New York. I do collision, mechanical repair, tires, and so on and so forth. My number is 716-625-6125 if you're trying to get hold of me. In 1911, Big Tom Sullivan was a senator. He ran New York City with a lot of other corrupt elected officials. And earlier in the 1900s, 1903s, there was a lot of mob violence and shootings. So he used this to write a law because when they were going around collecting their protection fees, they were getting shot back. And then when his guys were getting in trouble, they were getting sentenced to death or they were sitting in jail for a very long period of time. And they couldn't have that. So they looked at this as an opportunity to write gun control laws to protect the criminals, mostly the criminals. Because when they went on around to collect the protection fees from, like, for example, the Italians, they were shooting back, said, no, we don't believe in this. So this took the guns away from the good people to protect the criminals and then stop the criminals from actually going to jail for a very long period of time. It seems hard to believe, but this is New York City, here in New York State. So we're trying to fight this. Me and the Libertarian Party in New York County hired an attorney named James Ostrowski, and we can't fund this by ourselves. So we need your help to take it to the next level. We're in federal court right now, and we plan on taking it to the Supreme Court. I'm gonna show you a video here where the link of the GoFundMe site is, and please share the video. Read about the story. It's in the link. It's in the GoFundMe page. And thanks for listening, and be in touch. And let's stick together on this. Thank you.
The father of New York gun control was Democratic Party Big Tom Sullivan, a state senator and Tammany Hall crook, a criminal overseer of the gangs of New York. In 1911, in the wake of a notorious Gramercy Park blue blood murder-suicide, Sullivan sponsored the Sullivan Act, which mandated police-issued licenses for handguns and made it a felony to carry an unlicensed concealed weapon. This was the heyday of the pre-prohibition gang roving bands of violent thugs who terrorized ethnic neighborhoods and often fought pitched battles with the police. In 1903, the Battle of Rivington Street pitted a Jewish gang, the Eastmans, against the Italian five-pointers. When the cops showed up, the two underworld armies joined forces and blasted away, resulting in 3 deaths and scores of injuries. The public was clamoring for action against the gangs. Problem was the gangs worked for Tammany. The Democratic machine used them as sluggers, enforcing discipline at the polls and intimidating opposition gang leaders like Monk Eastman, even employed as informal sheriffs, keeping their turf under Tammany control. The Tammany Tiger needed to rein in the gangs without completely crippling them. Enter Big Tim with perfect solution. Disarm the gangs and ordinary citizens too, while still keeping them on the streets. In fact, he gave the game away during the debate on the bill, which flew through Albany. I want to make it so young thugs in my district will get 3 years for carrying dangerous weapons instead of getting sentenced in the electric chair a year from now. Sullivan knew the gangs would flout the law, but appearances were more important than results. Ordinary citizens, on the other hand, were disarmed, which solved another problem. Gangsters had been bitterly complaining to Tammany that their victims sometimes shot back at them. So gang violence didn't drop under the Sullivan Act. It really took off after the passage of the Prohibition in 1920. The irony of an edict written by corrupt politicians to save his bad guys from the electric chair now being used against law-abiding citizens. And the rest of the story, Big Tom was already suffering from syphilis when he wrote his law. He went mad soon thereafter and was sent to a sanitarium in 1912. He eventually escaped. His severed body was found on railroad tracks in the Bronx in 1913.